Welcome. If you caught the first bit, I'm sorry for that. Sometimes you get weird technology glitches, and I suddenly got a alert saying it wasn't recording or something had gone wrong. So, welcome. It's a Sunday afternoon. I've got a hot cup of tea. There's a little weather, and it's been snowing outside. But I just wanted to do a quick little video and just share something I've been talking about with friends and in conversation with this week. And that is, I came across a really crazy statistic, a study that was done a couple years ago. I don't know who did it, so I can't give them credit. But basically, I think it was a woman had found that 999 people who started the year with their goals in January, pursuing them. By June, 6 months later, only 53 of those people, basically 6.5% of them, were even still pursuing those dreams or those goals, I guess I should say. So, what does it take to be in that 6%? How do you become one of those people? Because you don't want to be like everyone else, because they're just going to fizzle out in the next few months. But the ones that we look to that are doing the things we want to do in life, that are achieving their dreams. I don't know about you, but there's been times in my life that I've looked at people that are making headway in the difficulty of and the storms of life, and they just seem to constantly be moving in the direction of their dreams and making progress that I don't always feel that I'm making. And so if you don't want to get left behind, make this your year, and make it your year by being somebody that doesn't just think about goal setting or dreaming big on January 1st. That's the magical day to do it. But the people that make change, they aren't the ones that waited till January 1st to set those goals or to pursue them. Now, some people make them on that day and can hold to them, but most people that are making radical change, there's something that has sparked in their life. There's something that has changed and lit a fire in them. And it can just be looking in the mirror and being tired of what you see. It can be looking at your bank account and being tired of what you see. It can be looking at your life, looking around you at the circumstances you're in, and just deciding this is not where I want to be in a year. And if you are going to see a difference in your life, you have to take radical and extreme ownership for who you are and where you're going and what you're going to do. And so I want to share another story that actually highlights to me and has been one that has stuck with me for years, because it was so visceral, and it wasn't just someone else's story, and it wasn't a fact. But before I do, I just want to highlight the fact that struggle and difficult, we have this struggle has a bad rap and hard has a bad rap. But the truth is, hard things are the ones that are worth it in life. Things that come to us easy, we don't appreciate and we don't savor. And those aren't the things that we talk about for the rest of our life. It's the difficult things that we've done. It's the difficult things and the things that we had to fight for, the things that we had to work our butts off that come with a reward. There's nobody that wins. I'm embarrassed because I'm thinking of boxing, but I can't even think of what it's called. Whoever wins the boxing championship of the world, heavyweight titles. So those people that win those titles didn't get there because they took the easy route. No one wins the Olympics because they did what was easy. They made sacrifices more than anyone around them, and they did what was difficult and hard. And so one of the things, if you're going to pursue your dreams, if you're going to set out to achieve great things in life and be someone who's uncommon, then you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you have to begin to look at things that are difficult in a way that no one else around you looks at them. That it's all about what you're talking and saying to yourself, because that's where the battle is. The battle isn't so much how hard, whatever it is that you've decided to do, it's the sacrifice that it takes. It's doing it over and over and over and over again days that are boring, days that are rainy and cold, days where your friends are going to parties, days where it's holidays. Otherwise you can make up like everyone else, and there is an excuse. There is an excuse every day you wake up to not pursue your dreams and to be like everyone else. And so mental toughness is connected to the things that we say to ourselves, the things that we are thinking. And I don't know about you, but I have conversations with myself all day long. And I don't think of myself as someone who lives in my head, but I know there are studies that say, I mean, it's insane. I'll tell you, 65% of statistics are made up on the spot, if you get the joke. But it was something insane, like something like the average person has 500,000 thoughts go through their mind every day. But most people are not even conscious of the thoughts they're thinking. And we're only conscious of maybe like 5 or 10,000 of those thoughts. And the number's probably more extreme. We're probably only conscious of about 1 to 5% of the thoughts we think every day. And so if you want to begin to change your life, you have to begin to change not only the things you're conscious of, but become aware of many of those other things that you're thinking all day long, that you've been, I say programmed, but people have told you all your life that you're living from. And so one of the things that I was thinking of when I was preparing for this was that I did some sort of workshop personal development course when I was in my early 20s. And it was maybe a 2 or 3 day workshop. And so what I loved about it wasn't just book training. It was actually really experiential, and they had some really interesting exercises. And I knew one of the presenters was a friend of mine. She was more of a mentor at that point, but we'd met a number of times, and she'd shared some key things that she'd been learning. And in a sense, she was probably one of the first people I ever knew that had made $1 million, her and her husband. And so she asked me to come out of the group of 50 or something in this workshop. And she told us we were going to do an exercise on achieving our dreams and achieving our goals. And one by one, we were going to come up to this line, and we had to get to the other end of the room. And there was a chance. Well, actually, let me say it this way. We all lined up at the line. And so one by one, we had a challenge. Everybody had to go from here to the other side of the room in a way that was different than anyone else who went across the room. So if the first person walked across the room, well, the next person could bunny hop. And then the third person could skip. And then the fourth person could crawl. And then the fifth person could, by about the fifth or sixth, people are starting to run out of ideas. Well, people around might be talking to them and having some ideas. And I think somebody rolled across the room, and I don't know. When it got to me, I think I was going to walk backwards or something. And I got 3/4 of the way across the room, and the whole thing was set up that you have to look at this like this. At the end of this goal is your lifelong dream. This is the pursuit of it. All you have to do is get from here to there, and you have to do it in a way that no one else has done. Well, as I get to 3/4 of the way across the room, she had come over to me, and she had privately told me ahead of time. She pulled me out of the line and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna talk to you when we're doing this exercise, and I want your help doing something." And I was like, "Sure, whatever you need, I'm happy to help." So 3/4 of the way through this exercise, which she again emphasized over and over, this is your dreams. This is like the relentless pursuit of something you have pursued your whole life. You cannot let anything stop you in getting from here to there. Don't let the idea of what to do, because many of us get hung up on the ideas and how we're going to do it. But when you get your idea and you get that, you got to run with it. And so 3/4 of the way across the room, she'd walked by me and said, she paused me and she said, "Hey, just stop here for a minute." She whispered this to me, and she was like, "I just want you to stand right here and wait right here. I want to do a demonstration to the group." And I was like, "Okay." And so I stood there, and she started talking to the group about all these things and about how things will stop you in life. And she went down this whole list of, people that all these reasons that'll stop you from your dreams. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking. And at some point, I had been standing there for about 5 minutes, and she kept going on about all these things. And she kept talking about how when we left that starting line, we weren't supposed to let anything get in the way of our dreams. And at some point, it started to dawn on me, man, this is really weird. Like, she's making me stand here. It's almost 10 minutes. She's talking to the group, and she's almost making fun of me now. And I suddenly, something that was said, and probably she was giving me a head nod because I was slow to realize this, but I realized the example that she was using in me was not a positive example. She was showing that it didn't take anything for me to stop pursuing my goal. All I had to do was be the teacher's pet, or to be used as an example, or, talk to privately over here. And I was happy to just stand there, and probably would have stood there for as long as she told me. And I totally forgot the whole goal of that exercise was to get to the other side of the room. And so it doesn't take much. And for me, that was just a moment of like, man, it didn't take a lot for me to stop pursuing my goal and trying to achieve what I needed. And so, I challenge you, whatever it is, don't be one of don't be one of the 93.5% that are going to give up by June. And if you don't have something you're clear about, get clear now. The things I've been thinking about and pondering, and, my process is start now and start scared. Start small with a mini habit that is ridiculously so small and ridiculously simple that you can't fail on your first day, and start in community. And if you're looking for a group of people to help, well, I'm getting ready to launch something here in just a few weeks. So if you subscribe now, you'll at least be in the loop and can decide if that's something for you down the road. But I really encourage you to get clear on what you want to do in life. It only takes one thing to turn your life around, and pursue it. Learn to pursue it relentlessly. So I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for sharing some of your Sunday afternoon with me. I look forward to the next one with you. Cheers.